You are now listening to the National Show with Gangsterville and McGee. The National Show, the National Show, the National Show, no show, no show. The National Show, the National Show, the National Show, no show, no show. All right. What's poppin', No Nation? This is the National Show with Gangsterville and McGee. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Follow us on all of our social media, Instagram and X. For all of our links, you can catch us on linktree.com/National Show. That's NATIONOLESHOW. All right.
Up, my guy.
What's going on, man?
Man, this started in Dublin. We were bubbling in Dublin. We thought we were going to be undefeated national champs this year, man. We felt so good. We thought the ACC was our conference. We thought Georgia Tech was just going to be the first in a long line of teams that just felt the wrath, and we were very wrong. But
very
feels
wrong.
like it feels like that was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, right? It really feels like it just started. And now we're about to play the last game of the season. I mean, we're not playing it, but the last game of the season will be played without the two of us and without the Florida State Seminoles.
Yeah. A NOLA's championship game.
That is what it is.
A NOLA's playoff.
A NOLA's bowl season.
Yeah. NOLA's bowl season. Can't forget about that one. Yeah.
Sad. But does not take away from the fact that it was a good football season, that even if we weren't a part of it, it was a good football season in college football, right?
Yeah. One of the absolute best across the boards. And this is everything we talked about last year with the playoff system, with, now you have to see who's really the best and get rid of that funky ass eye test. I think they'll be better, so we'll put them in. No, we'll put some cleats to some turf and see who the better team is. And hell, we've been wrong during the playoffs. That just goes, not just us. We've been wrong. The critics have been wrong. The commentators, everyone who has put their 2 cents in has been wrong, because at the end of the day, it's what you put on that field, baby. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing what, a championship in how many years without an SEC team?
Wild.
Right. I can't even think of the last one. Damn, near probably 10 years. No, the championship game without an SEC team in it.
Us in Oregon. FSU Oregon? No, that was
the playoff
round
game
before. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah. See?
It's wild.
Yeah. But I love it, man. I love it.
It was, jeez, I can't remember.
Me either. I heard someone said, I want to say it's like maybe 2000. No, not 2013. That's the year we won.
There had to be some other Big Ten Pac-12 matchup or something, or Notre Dame, one of those Notre Dame trips, or I don't know. No, man, I can't think of it. But yeah, you're right. It is wild. And even if Texas had made it, we'd still be saying, "Oh, it's like, does that really count? They just joined the SEC." Right. It still doesn't have any of the traditional SEC, big names.
Yep.
It's wild. Last week, let's go back to last week before we talk about this week. Let's talk about last week. Notre Dame and Penn State. We were so off. Penn State was getting 1.5 there. They were the underdog, but we both liked them. It was a close game, just like we expected. It was It was certainly a fun game to watch. There were times there that I thought Penn State was winning that game. There were quite a few times that I thought, even in the second half too. But Notre Dame has been winning these games in, kind of close fashion for like they've been fighting hard the last few weeks, man, and they're just kind of staying alive and surviving through the rounds. The other game though, looks like I got to take you after dinner, buddy.
I told you, man. I saw that one, man. That was one I could like feel it in my bones, and then I know it because it's like one of those teaser games because it's Texas, and Texas is stacked, but man, Texas just haven't been able to consistently put it together. You know what I mean? They remind you of that young buck boxer that has all of the speed, has all of the strength, has everything, all of the cuts and everything, but that knowledge, you know what I mean, to put it all together to, you know what I'm saying, offense, defense, or whatever, they just been not clicking like they should or whatever. So in Ohio State, like, yeah, they've been that Michigan, and people overlook that. Well, not overlook. I put too much into that Michigan loss. It's a rivalry game, man. Don't get it twisted. Bro got to come out and beat them because I think that's like the third or fourth time they beat them in a row or whatever. And he has to eventually beat them, but it's a freaking rivalry game, man. It's Michigan, like, yeah, them boys been clicking, man.
Yeah, it's pretty wild that they needed that. I guess they needed that kick in the ass or something. Like they needed something to motivate this because this has been a serious run. It's like a wave. It's been just kind of crashing through the playoffs. They're a good team, man. They're full of big football players. Like that's an athletic football team that knows how to play well together. I mean, Texas might have lost by 2 touchdowns, but doesn't mean they're not a good. Texas isn't a good football team like Ohio State's just better right now.
Right.
Just better right now. They're just feeling it.
Yep.
2 touchdown difference, right? It was 28-14, but it was a 6 point spread. There were times that I thought like, oh wow, I might get a little, they might a little backdoor, right at the end. Right. No, didn't work out that way though. So comes down to 2 teams, man. Comes down to Notre Dame and Ohio State University.
The Ohio State
University. Same neck of the woods. These 2 teams are both kind of, Midwest area, regionally similar kind of fan bases and attitudes going into football. Like, you almost wish they were playing this in Chicago in the snow or something.
Yeah, that would make it nice.
Be on brand at least. Notre Dame's getting 9.5 points, man.
Wow.
It's not a few. I mean, like that's a lot of points, and
makes it intriguing.
If you shop around, if you let's say you like Ohio State, there are books that are down to 8 points. You can find it at 8.5. You can find it at 9.5, right? But so if you like Notre Dame, you can get plus 9.5 points. If you like Ohio State, -8. That's why it's really important that if you live in a state that has multiple options, like I don't, Florida only has 1 legal sports book right now. It's Hard Rock. But in all those states that have 10 different, apps you can download, you should check every outlet and see where you're getting both the best number and the best odds on that number, because it can often be the difference of winning and losing, or winning and pushing, whatever the case.
Yeah, man, for real.
But this is, I mean, that's a lot of points. It's a lot of points for a national championship, right? What are your thoughts going into this?
I think, not to say that Notre Dame doesn't have a chance of winning, because this of all Notre Dame teams in the past has officially got my respect. They're not the cream puff Notre Dame teams of the past. They're not the no disrespect, Manti Te'o, but they're not the Manti Te'o Notre Dame. You know what I mean? They're for real. And I love the coach. I want to say this is the first African American coach to be in a national championship, to coach in a national championship game or whatever. Yeah. So that's dope.
amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, to sit back and watch that, and then I got to get my hat off to him when I really, really sit back and look at this team, because I keep forgetting about the academic standards that you have to even cleat up at Notre Dame. You know what I mean?
I'm sure they do everything they can to help the athletes and all, but they're not gonna. It's like Stanford. You know what I mean? It
ain't Alabama.
It ain't Alabama.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. And to be able to get the tier athletes that they have, the tier transfers that they have, and still make, that Notre Dame academic, because that hurts a lot of teams, bro.
You're absolutely right. A lot of teams. You figure Duke has a little of that. Vanderbilt probably has a little of that, but Notre Dame and Stanford are probably the ones that have exceeded or thrived in regardless of that obstacle for the, that's amazing.
Yeah. And I put that together. I just say that to give mad props to the coach, mad props to the success that this team has gotten so far. And they do have a chance of winning, but that 9 points, bro, or anything more than a touchdown, I don't see, man. And Ohio State is the favorites for the reason they're the most complete team throughout the playoffs this year.
But you don't see them winning by double digits.
Not at all. No.
So here's the thing with Notre Dame. It's a lot of running the ball. Right? When they have to be, when they're like forced to be in a passing situation, I guess we haven't really seen a whole lot of that. Right then, if somehow Ohio State's up 14 early,
that could
be
a totally different game.
That could be a totally different game, because I don't see Notre Dame being able to throw themselves out of trouble.
In order for Notre Dame to keep it, to win, they have to keep it close.
Yes,
because if they get to the point like you stated where they're 2 touchdowns up or 17 plus up or whatever, and they have to play catch up ball, then it creates mistakes, and those mistakes is gonna make that score swell. And in Ohio State, as you see, they capitalize off of those mistakes, and they're
gonna if they know you're gonna pass, that makes it 30 times harder. And if Notre Dame if that's already not like a strength of their team approach, like that becoming more difficult, it could be really bad. So I don't know. At first, when I first saw this number, I thought like you did, or like you almost voiced my initial thoughts. And then the more I've thought about this over the last few days, the more I realized like this could get out of hand, actually. Ohio State could cover this. I can picture Notre Dame eking out a win here. I could picture Notre Dame losing close. I can definitely picture Notre Dame getting blown out. What I don't picture, the only like situation I don't picture is Notre Dame blowing Ohio State out. I don't. That's not crossing my mind at all.
I don't see them. If they win, it's not going to be more than 7 points.
One
touchdown,
like 2.
Something like that.
It could be 2 points or something.
Exactly.
It could be something crazy.
Yeah, and I see Ohio State, they probably, if they win, it may be 10-14 at best. And then, if it gets ugly. But I'm hoping in Notre Dame's defense, I'm hoping, like you say, they stick to the ground game, eat the clock up, take as much time as you can away from that Ohio State offense. Therefore, even if you say turn the ball over or get a field goal or don't score, you've eaten up so much of the clock to keep them from putting so many points on the board. That's how I would, roll it if I was coach.
Yeah, and if that's the case, right? If Notre Dame starts doing that and we're able to keep the game tight and run the ball and try to keep Ohio State's offense on the sideline so they don't have a whole lot of chances and stuff like that. I think the reaction by Ohio State is, okay, we can do that too. Because they're going to want to get the defense a little rest. They're going to want the offense to be out there a little longer. They will also run the ball. They have a great running game. Right? And
but that runs in the favor of Notre Dame if the game goes that way, because that's less possessions and
shorter game. It shortens the game.
Yeah,
right? The clock keeps running.
And the score is going to be closer or whatever.
It also means the score is going to be lower.
Exactly.
So who that really benefits? Us, baby, because I'm betting under 46.5 points.
Okay. All right.
Right. If I think that clock's going to keep running and they're both going to run the ball, we're not going to see any I don't expect us to see any 2-play drives here. I expect us to see 8-play, 4-minute plus type drives every drive, and fewer scoring opportunities means lower score. In my mind.
Where is the game located at?
You'd think we would know this, considering we're both hosts of a podcast and weekly live stream that discusses college sports. You really think we would know the answer to that question? It's kind of crazy that we don't. It's almost like we shouldn't even be doing this. You know what I mean?
That's what happened when the nose isn't a part of it, baby.
That's right. That's what happened. If you had asked me what night it was, I had the answer. You know what I mean? I knew it was Monday night.
Right? It's in Atlanta.
Oh, see, I don't think that benefits.
Stadium.
I don't think that hurts or benefits either team.
Right.
I think both of these teams can fight there, and I think that being, considering what we discussed at the beginning of the podcast, that they're kind of similar regions, similar types of teams, similar attitudes across the fan base. We wish this game was played in Chicago. I mean, ultimately, there wasn't going to be a venue that was unless they were playing at Ohio State or at Notre Dame, there wasn't going to be a home field advantage anywhere or travel.
Right.
They have similar travel bases or alumni bases that travel, right?
Right.
So they're going to get a lot of support.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
ATL, Shouty, that's a short flight. Should we meet there? You want to go? We got a friend there. We can sleep on his couches. You can have the guest room. Man. I'll sleep on the couch.
Say it ain't so.
Yeah. Indoors? Atlanta, they play that game inside.
I want to say, that's going to be inside, man.
Who does that help? Who does that hurt? Either side?
No, even across the boards with it.
I would think it in general benefits the team that's a little more athletic, right? Or the team that's more athletic. It benefits the athletes because the faster runners get an extra little something, an extra percent. And that is, in a game of margins, right? That's a big deal. Maybe that makes that Ohio State secondary even a little tougher to score against. That makes it even harder for Notre Dame to throw the ball, probably. That indoor artificial everything. I don't know if it's real grass or what, but indoor situation.
Yeah, one thing I think it's turf or real grass and stuff just indoors. Yeah, they don't do that turf mess anymore as much as they used to in the old days or whatever because all the injuries that came from it.
Yeah, it didn't really work. It might be a little bit cheaper, but not when you're, losing valuable investments, assets.
Right.
If every single soccer team in Europe, has is able to handle grass for, goes with grass for a reason. It's better. It's better on your knees specifically.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure. I hate to say this to you, but I think I disagree. I think Ohio State's going to cover 9.5 points, which seems weird to say. Like if I'm going to bet it, I'm going to find it at 8 if I can, right? But
No, I'd agree with you. I'd agree with you. I'm saying Ohio State by 14. If I want to put my money on it,
yeah,
I'm giving them at least a 14 point. Like mad respect
that,
to Notre Dame and everything or whatever, but when it's all said and done, Ohio State is too athletically, and that's why I gave them so much of the spiel on the academics and stuff or whatever, because it's a good job that he's done putting together the athletes that he has and everything or whatever, and considering the situation. But Ohio State is just that next tier up. They're like that talent level I haven't seen since Urban Meyer was coaching there, and they had almost three NFL starters on 1 year, the year Cardale Jones or whatever went to the national champion, and that was the last championship that an SEC team wasn't in. It was Ohio State and Oregon that year that Oregon beat us in the first playoffs. Wow, full circle. But yeah, man. Ohio State is definitely way more talented. Just way more athletes on the field, man. That's not to take anything away from the athletes that Notre Dame has. They just got more of the playmakers, more of the the X factor guys or whatever that you need.
Notre Dame might be bigger and tougher than they've ever been, but this Ohio State team can go head to head with that.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't really help them here this weekend, this game, Monday. I appreciate you closing that loop. Good job. Bravo. On last time. That was a good job. Yeah, well, I think we see eye to eye. If you feel strongly on the 14, you can probably find what's called an alt line, where you can probably find a line that's minus 13.5 or something like that, and get a plus number and get a bigger payoff, and get better odds. So if you are gonna, you being in Arizona, if you're in Arizona, I would look like. If you feel that strongly about it, I would at least look at some alt lines and put, a little something on that, because it's they can be super lucrative when you're right.
Yeah.
Also, like 10 is a weird number. I mean, there's not a whole. I guess a touchdown and a field goal. Sometimes the games end by 10, but I feel like 14 was something we see. We just saw it last week, right? So 14 happened. So, yeah.
Yep.
Sad, man. No Florida State in the playoffs. You and I haven't done great in the playoffs picking. We given back a lot of what we piled up in the regular season, which is unfortunate. But this is our last chance to get it all
just
back.
Goes to show you how exciting this playoffs is, though, man.
Yeah.
Like,
if you
can't predict who the winner is, then hey, what better can you ask for, man?
That's right.
Love it. I love it.
And on top of that, the NFL's having a great playoffs, even if our Bucks got knocked out. Still, it was a great run for our guys, a great run for the Buccaneers. But it's been a good end to the collective football season, between the college and NFL game.
Yep. Yeah. And at least I feel like knock on wood. But at least what I feel like I can confidently say is we won't have a year like this next year from all of the talent that we're bringing in or whatever.
Yeah.
Year after that, I don't know, but at least next year.
Just like let's get a couple W's next year, and then we'll figure out where we're going. See what's happening.
Yeah. Like 6 of them. Let's go bowling.
Let's make a bowl game and then we'll talk about it.
Right.
Jeez. That's going to be the bet going into the season is yes or no, will Florida State make a bowl game? Not, yes or no, will we be ACC champs? Not yes or no, will we be in the playoffs? It's going to be yes or no, will we make a bowl game?
Or not.
Right. All right. Well, before I get sad and start crying on camera, let me wrap this up. All right. The National Show is a co-production between Broham and be epic. It can be enjoyed regularly on the YouTube channel. It is at National, Nationole. Please subscribe, all that stuff. And it is also available, if you prefer it in an audio-only format, at betyourash.com or on the Bet Your Ash feeds on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, we have all the social channels. You should say hi to us. They are all listed on our link tree. It is /National Show, NationolesShow. You know who else has a link tree page? My friend Gainesville. It is linktree /GAINSTAVILLE. Did I do that right?
You got it.
And at his, or on his, whichever, on his Linktree page, you can find links to all the different platforms where you can stream his music. In fact, it is my firm belief that you should listen to his music on all the different platforms, because that's the best way to support your friends that make music. And Gainesville is both your friend and he makes music. His latest album, Desperado Code, is available now. And I think that's it, man.
Yep.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, well, go Noles.
Go Noles.
And you have just finished listening to The National Show with Gangsta, Fizzle, and McGee.